Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Friday podcast. I'm your host, Teemu Ruohonen, and I'm a 25-year-old international business student from TAMK. At the moment, I'm a second year, but in the fall, I'm starting my third year of studies, and I'm specializing in innovation management and marketing. Today, here, my guests are Nea Vehosalmi and Ville Varjoranta, who are also studying in international business with me. What we're going to talk about today is international business and overall our internship and the course Summer Challenges 2020 and what this experience has been like for us doing our internship in a course form and then what feelings and what kind of emotions it has included this summer. So, without further ado, would our guests like to introduce themselves? Let's start off with Nea. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, hello, and thanks for having me here. My name is Nea Vehosalmi. I'm 21 years old and originally come from a small town called Mänttävilppula. I'm also a second year IB student this fall, going to my third year in studies, and I have majored in HR and tourism and experience economy. That's a basic info about me.
Okay, thank you for having me as well, Teemu. And first of all, I'm a huge podcast buff myself, so I'm just excited to be here and try this out. It's my first time. My name is Ville Varjoranta. I'm 23 years old from Tampere, studying IB on my second year right now, and I'm majoring in HR and marketing. My background is in personal training and all that fitness stuff. The question I get asked a lot in school especially is why you study business? Why are you not studying something sports related? And my answer is that I want to combine those two elements, the international business aspects and my knowledge in the well-being field. Yeah, so that's basically me.
Thank you so much for your introductions, and it's really nice to have some fellow international business students in the house, so that's awesome. And I also can say for myself that international business was really my calling in a way, but that's the way that I want to go. I want to like implement as much as marketing and like different kinds of stuff like podcasts and social media content and whatever there is to my studies because I really want to learn how to do that professionally. So for me, the international business was just the way to go. And also the fact that it's in English, which is, well, but that's something that a lot of people might not really know. We study in English and we do everything in English. So reports, presentations, meetings, whatever you might have during your courses and during your studies. But so once again, thank you for your introductions. And then I could also say what international business really is. It was referred to as IB, so IB stands for International Business, and it's basically learning how to be a professional in business field, so marketing, HR, well-being, tourism, accounting, all that kind of stuff, and all those skills that you might need in real business life to work in a real corporation or company. Also about international business, so we as like business students, we might be seen as really really just like self-centered at times. I mean, at least I feel like a lot of people, when they hear that you study business, they just, oh, really? I see us so-called generational group. We have become like such a big friend group. It's like, it's amazing how quickly people just became friends and just really started to hang out and just, we can talk about whatever we want with each other. And that's something that not a lot of other degree programs have, I think. And that's something that they might not be able to see because like that's all happening behind the scenes of what the program would suggest. But then also, I recently talked to one of my teachers, and she was actually mentioning about having this impression that it's just like very competitive and just like really, really trying to top one off. Because like we really are. At the end of the day, why we're studying in the first place is to actually get a job and to get a job that we actually like doing. Because if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. So that's why we're all here. But then competition, well, I can definitely see that aspect as well. Because if you think about it, you apply for a job, there might be hundreds of other applicants to the same position. But then, like, how do you differentiate yourself from the others? And that's where the competitiveness comes in. And I feel like while IB students are all friends with each other, we're definitely competing with each other as well. Because, like, think about it. If your, let's say, LinkedIn profile says that you're interested in marketing and you're looking for new opportunities and like new challenges, yeah, that's the same thing as like 200 other people. So you might want to mix things up. So that's also because like the reason why we're doing, for example, the podcast today is to just kind of get that new area, something new to try out and something exciting for us. Like Vila said, because like for me as well, I really love podcasts. And for me, it's a real joy to actually sit down and just talk about things and discuss about them. So that's really something that I want to implement into my experience. And as right now, I can actually implement it into my internship plan, which is perfect for me. But let's throw the ball to our guests. So would you now say that international business students are competitive, and do you have some other insights on this or opinions in general?
Yeah, I don't think being competitive is only exclusive to international business students. Like, it's a fact that all students compete with each other, like regarding jobs and opportunities. But of course, this also applies to IB students. Like, even though you said, which I agree with that, we have become really close friends and like we're all really chill people and like there's a good team spirit. Of course, like we all think about our future as well and like wanting to get the jobs that we want and like become successful. So yes, and especially those students, like of course every IB student like basically competes with each other, but even more so those who have specialized in the same topics. For example, those that all study HR, then they tend to go for the same jobs. So of course, there's more competition in that sense in there. But at the same time, I feel like in job markets, like IB students have sort of an advantage because we have done everything in English. So that's one thing that makes us stand out from the rest. But yeah, there is competitiveness among IB students just like anywhere else. But yeah, that's about it.
All right. So, I definitely see ambition amongst the IB students. And it's very clear since I would say 99% of IB students probably wish to work abroad at some point, or at least work utilizing English. And to me, that's just a clear indicator of ambition right there. And I think it's healthy. It's not a negative thing at all. And yeah, about the competition, well, on pretty much all of the courses we form groups. So at least for me, it doesn't seem like we have a lot of competition, like individual versus one individual, but we have sort of groups or teams competing against each other. We learn a lot about communication within those teams. We find ways to communicate within the group and to work as a whole group more efficiently so we can beat the other teams. And I think that's great as well, because individual versus individual competition could go wrong very quickly. And in some of our courses, at least in the, if I recall correctly, was this strategic marketing planning or something like that. The teachers actually made the course as a competition, if you remember. And I thought that was a great idea, and I really liked that because it motivated the students a lot more.
Yeah, I remember. How could I forget? But yeah, I definitely agree with your points there, and you actually filled out the points that I failed to mention. But then I don't know, like I just feel like IB students are like such a commune in that sense, like in every possible like good way. Because like it's just really so liberating to talk about things and just because people understand you and you understand other people and it's just like you share the same points of views and it's just for me it's been amazing, really such a good experience. And especially during this summer as well, because like you get the chance to do different kinds of things. And for example, we are doing this podcast for Summer Challenges 2020 course, which is arranged by Y-kampus. So we are also doing our internship during this summer, and this is a part of it. I would kind of like to hear your opinions as well on this. Like, how would you describe this exceptional chance that we got, an opportunity to do an internship via course form and like actually just doing what we like? Like, for example, Ville is doing HR and well-being, Nea is assisting project manager, and I'm doing communications and social media as well as marketing. Especially during this time, this Corona time, because this is the first time that this is offered to IB students as well, like to do as an internship. So, for me, obviously, it's been a good experience, and I've really, really enjoyed it. There's a ton of work to do, like that's a given. But like, also at the same time, I feel like it's a good opportunity to like see what you're made of, like in that sense, because like we have a lot of skills in theory, but then this course has really given us the chance, like any other internship out there as well, to actually put the things that we know into practice and to do it, you know? And definitely a good experience. What do you guys think? What do you think of this internship during the summer and in a course form, and especially like during Corona time? Because it's been a weird experience doing everything online and during like Microsoft Teams and Zoom meetings, and like you don't really get to see the people that you are in a team with, like working with. And how would you say your experience has been like, and how would you see this Summer Challenges 2020 course as an internship opportunity? Let's start off with Ville this time. Tell us a little bit about your opinions on this.
All right. So, well, the course, the summer challenges, it was really a lifesaver, sort of say, for me, because before Corona hit, I had a internship and then actually 2 jobs, and it all came crashing down. And I started to feel a bit desperate at the time. But fortunately, I found out about the course and that I can still do the internship through this course. And yeah, it was a lifesaver for me. And fortunately, when Corona hit, we still had like regular courses ongoing, so we kinda got used to the remote working before this summer challenges course started, and I think that was good because we were gonna ready to go and prepared. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I was really happy about this opportunity that this Summer Challenges 2020 course, that we were able to take part in this, because also due to Corona, I had nothing else going for me this summer. So in that sense, like, I was really happy about this opportunity to take part in this course and like start my internship in this form. But it has been an interesting experience. I mean, like Ville said, we had some courses still going on when Corona hit, but like not in an online setting, but not to this extent. Like, we're basically sitting on our computer 6 hours a day and meetings going all the time. So it took some getting used to, but now I'm used to it already now. So yeah, it's been different, but pretty rewarding as well.
Yeah, I can actually sign those comments as well and opinions. It was a lifesaver to get a word out of this. So thanks to our lovely tutor teacher. Her email to me was like a wake up call in that sense, because I didn't have a plan on how to do actually the third year stuff, which is for us it's a internship and then exchange. And then like the whole internship just kind of freaked me out like super hard. But this experience has been really, really good. I've really enjoyed it, and it was a lifesaver because I got to start off my internship by doing something that I really like, and then I got to meet a lot of new people, and to just try out things that I never thought I would, such as podcast. Now, with that being said, we could also talk about a little bit about our expectations, because we all might have had a different perspective on this course and about doing this internship right now during this time, and remote working. I mean, like Nea and Ville already talked about, we were kind of used to the remote working setting because we had courses ongoing, like marketing, for example, was mostly done through computers at that point when Corona hit. But then, so for me, I don't know if I had any real expectations for this course. Like, I just kind of wanted to jump in and just see what it's like. Like, do I actually have the guts and have skills needed and actually just like do what I want and like do what's necessary and what I have to do. But yeah, and then also, as well as talking about the expectations, would you say you guys have a any sort of like feelings right now? Like, how do you think the course has been for you so far? Like, any sort of development in certain skills, or do you have something about that? Your expectations and your feelings about the course so far, because we do still have a couple of weeks left. For now, what are your feelings? Like, how do you feel right now, currently? Let's start off with Nea this time.
Yeah, I also didn't really have that many expectations when starting this course. Like, I didn't apply to be in these actual innovation teams. Like, in this course, we have a back office function and then innovation teams that work on these projects with real life clients. But in the back office, we're more like a support system. So I applied for that because I felt like what I have studied that I could utilize that more there. And yeah, so far, I mean, at the moment, I feel pretty good about this course. Personally, I like there has been some challenges with the course, like that I have faced. So yeah, that has made me like develop some problem solving skills and like how to take matters into my own hands and like how to actually, and like communication has been a super important part of this course and like the stuff that we do. So that has definitely developed as well, like communication skills and teamwork skills as well, because we do our work in teams all the time. Like for my team, which is the assisting project managers, we don't really do individual work, but we do everything together. So that's also been a good learning experience in this course. So yeah, not many expectations in the beginning, some hurdles in the beginning, and now things are getting better. So yeah, I'm feeling quite positive about this course at the moment and for the last 2 weeks that are ahead.
Yeah, same goes for me. No expectations really, because I didn't do any, pretty much zero research of the about the course before actually clicking the link to join the course from my email. But yeah, after the course began and I joined the back office function of it and the HR and well-being group specifically, I was hoping that I could be able to create material about well-being, since it is really it's an important topic for me, and I have been able to do just that. We are creating weekly presentations about topics that we feel are important, and that has been it has been fun and very useful to be able to communicate my ideas and our group's ideas to other students. And so as a part of my job here, I have two innovations teams under my responsibility, and I take care of those. I have weekly meetings with them, and one of the skills that I have gained from this is to ask the right questions to gain the right information, which is beneficial for the whole organization here, I would say.
It's a good thing that you both mentioned the innovation teams because and the responsibilities that you might have right now. So basically how this course works is once again just there are 10 innovation teams which are filled with multicultural people, so Finnish and whatever your other nationality might be, or then just overall people wanting to speak English. You know, it's really no boundaries and it's just really everyone involved, and that it's such a good experience for everyone. Personally, I have done plenty of those exact same projects. So the innovation teams, like I said, there's 10 of them, and they all have a commissioner who is helping them with the project. So they give out this challenge, which the team then has to solve. So basically just try to brainstorm a solution and do some background research on the topics and aspects, and then just kind of present a solution or a pitch to the company, which would then possibly solve the challenge or the issue that the company is having. So whether it's related to marketing or then just getting known more globally. And then there's actually a back office team as well, which we are all part of. Like I mentioned earlier that Will is part of HR and well-being. group, and then I'm part of the communication and social media group as well as marketing. And Nea is a part of the assisting project managers group. So what we do is, well, Nea's team helps with the innovation teams, team leaders to actually just get things done and moving and just make sure that everything is going smoothly, and then just of course have meetings and contracts and things of that nature. And for me, I do communication. So my group is actually in charge of the communication within the back office team. So whenever a coach approaches us with something, we just kind of communicate that to the other teams in the back office, and then also do the social media, so Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn and you name it. And then the list team is also in charge of the team's contracts and about their well-being and just overall having weekly meetings with them, just sit downs and how are you guys doing with the project and what would you need help with and stuff like that. So really just helping them out with everything they might need help with, and then just even beyond, we are all super busy all the time, but I think it's a good experience because it gives you a purpose in that sense, and tons of responsibility, which is good because you can actually just kind of see how well you work under pressure, and then how you deal with getting more responsibility. And yeah, so that's basically how this course functions in that sense. And I mentioned a little bit about the tasks and responsibilities that we have all, and things of that nature. But would you guys have still something to add? What you guys do, or your teams, and what are your responsibilities? And then also, I might add a little mix up to the question. Can you say what your plans are for the next couple of weeks for this? While my team's goal is to actually get everything done in time. We have tons of projects and tons of things to do, so we're going to be super busy for the last couple of weeks with the social media and communication and things. But I would like to hear from you guys, Nea and Ville. What are your plans and goals for the couple of weeks? And if you have any more information and your insights of your tasks and responsibilities, what you guys do, please do bring those up as well. So without further ado, let's let someone else talk as well. So now, would you like to start?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, you pretty much already said what my team is doing. So basically, the assisting project managers are like a support system for the project managers of the innovation team. So we have weekly meetings with them just to see how they're doing and if there's some problems that we can help them with, and just be like this support system essentially, and just give them advice and like tips how to handle their team and to get the team working as effectively as it can. And also we are process of creating some material and content for the project managers. So yesterday we finished a recording of a presentation about project management tools, which is mostly for future references because due to other things, we haven't been able to do this earlier on during the course. So it's a bit too late to implement these tools for last 2 weeks. So this is something that everyone can utilize in the future. And also plans for the last 2 weeks, or the upcoming 2 weeks, is to share this presentation to the project managers, and then also make another presentation about stakeholders in project management, because obviously projects are very complex entities, and we feel like this is something that not everybody knows, that how much or how many different variables are included in projects. So we feel like it's useful information for everyone. So we're coming up with that, and then also we're going to collect questions from the innovation teams that we'll be answering on the last week. So kind of having this kind of Q&A session. So yeah, aside from those, we're just going to have the last meetings with the project managers, and that's about it for the last 2 weeks of this course for our team.
Yeah, so previously I mentioned the main functions, what we do, but and first of all, there's a lot of freedom. Like 99% of the time, if you have a great idea, which is realistic and just a good idea, there's a high possibility that you can implement it to your work in the course. But so what we do, we set weekly themes based on well-being and different aspects of well-being, and we give presentations focusing on those weekly themes. And then every member in my team has a innovation teams under their responsibility. So that's the HR work pretty much.
Yeah, those really covered a lot of the team's responsibilities and tasks, and maybe gave the people listening to this podcast a bit of insight of what the teams actually do and what they're all about. So maybe next we could talk about we've already talked about a bit of teamwork, but then we could maybe dive into that a bit more. For my team, I've had an excellent time. I just completely have enjoyed my time with my team, and it works just fine. And we haven't really encountered any issues. And actually, to that, we arranged a mixed teams workshop yesterday on Thursday. It went really well. You know, all of the innovation teams just said basically the same things, that the communication is really important, but it hasn't been an issue. And they have actually liked working together as a teams, which is really good feedback to all of us who are basically in charge and responsible for the teams and the functions of this whole course and like behind the scenes stuff. So that's really important to know that they actually have had this group experience, and that they team spirit is so good, because that really is going to help them a lot with the project and with the last couple of weeks of this course, because they have to do the final presentations and finish off their pitches to the commissioners. So that's really important to know. But then again, we could also throw into the mix a bit of the learning goals, and if you have achieved them. My goals for this course were to just try out what I'm made of and to just learn as much as possible. So basically do podcasts and how a real company would manage their social media. So Instagram or Twitter, is there like a specific theme that you have to follow? And there usually is, but like that's the whole point. So basically just kind of familiarizing yourself with the idea of you doing it professionally and then just, well, succeeding in what you're doing. So that was mainly my learning goal, maybe. But then I would really like to hear a little bit about Ville's and Nea's experiences. We've all been so busy. I mean, we have meetings with each other weekly, but then again, like we don't really have the opportunity to sit down like this and talk about our real experiences about the teamwork and opinions, and then learning objectives and like topics. Well, maybe that's enough for this section as well. But then, so what are your learning goals, and have you actually achieved them? And would you say the teamwork in your own group is functioning okay? And what do you guys think overall? Like, are you having a good time? So let's start off with Ville now. What do you think?
Learning goals. Definitely for me, one has been that maybe I'm generalizing a bit too much here, but students in general live this wild, crazy party lifestyle a lot. And one learning goal for me was that I want to be able to communicate and make the students feel the importance of the aspects of well-being. And I don't know, it's hard to measure that and measure the success of that. But I guess I will find that out after the course. But yeah, one learning goal for me was to just learn about the different functions of HR and the importance of HR. And then regarding teamwork, it's been interesting at least. We have a team of 4 people, and yeah, I don't know how to say this, but we have 3 people within the group. We are like personality-wise, we are in the same level, and there's one who's a bit different, and there's been some communication problems, and that's been a learning process itself. But I would say we have managed to keep everything under control, and yeah, communication skills.
Yeah, for my learning goals, I mean, initially I came to this course like I wanted to be part of the HR team, so that was what I was looking forward to, like learn more about because that's what I studied previously. But I ended up in the assisting project managers team, and even though it was not exactly what I wanted to do, it has certainly been a learning experience for me that I find useful, because I mean, I didn't know much about project management, and now I know a lot more, and I find it quite interesting. So yeah, it's been, even though it was not what I initially planned to do, it's been nice to learn about something new in that sense. And also just in general, I wanted to learn skills that might benefit me in my future job, work, career, like problem solving skills and like teamwork, communication. And I think I have learned quite a lot about teamwork and communication during this course, because it's quite different from compared to like if we're face to face with a team, and now we're in this like online setting. So yeah, teamwork has been quite a challenge for my team. I mean, in my team we have 3 members, and we have had this problem of like not having a stable team because we have had members coming and going. So that's presented a challenge for us. And also we're all from different walks of life, so there's also that brings its own set of challenges, and there's language barriers as well. So it can make teamwork quite difficult at times, but I feel like it's still a good learning experience, and it like helps me grow as a team worker as well when faced with these challenges and not having such a smooth sail all the time. So yeah, turning something negative into something positive is like my mindset here during this course.
Yeah, I can relate to turning something negative into positive, even though I don't really have so negative experiences, but definitely because like people have bad days, like there's nothing you can do about it. But then the thing is, how would you turn that into something positive and something like better? But yeah, definitely communication is important in all cases. But then maybe because of the communication, let me ask you this. What would be the tips and tricks for people being interested in this course, like maybe after listening to this podcast or like in general? What would you say are the tips and tricks? What tips and tricks would you give to these people who are interested in this course? I mean, what should they be focusing on? What should their learning goals be? And kind of like to match up with reality better. And then also, could you give a little bit of feedback about this course? Some constructive criticism and just like overall, because I think it's really beneficial for everyone listening to this to just kind of hear the good and well, something that could be improved parts, because like definitely nothing's ever perfect, and this course was not an exception to that. But we all have different experiences, so that's why I'm asking, because I want to know what would you change. Personally, for me, I think there's a problem with the communication and then just organizing the teams in the beginning, at least. Like once everyone just kind of got settled down, I feel like the job and like the work and the tasks and responsibilities just started to kind of work on their own. Like you really got used to what you need to do, and people really help you if you ask them and stuff like that. But then I feel like since this was kind of because back office team was basically a new concept for this course as an addition, so my feedback would be to just kind of focus on that maybe in the future, because like there's a contrast between the innovation teams and how well they are doing, and then back office teams that, well, they're not struggling at least anymore, maybe in the beginning, because of like getting to know everyone and just kind of sink or swim situation in a way in that sense. So yeah, definitely more communication, and then just kind of coaching, maybe it could be a bit differently done, because I feel like my team, well, we knew what we are gonna do, but like that was different. So that's also why I'm asking you guys, would you change something for future implementations, and if so, what is it? So let's throw the ball at Nea for now. So improvements, feedback, anything?
I mean, yeah, of course, there are good and bad things in this course, just like in any other course that has been done. But The negative things, I think they're mostly maybe due to being implemented the first time because of this corona situation, that this course has to be done in an online setting. So I think the overall organization of the course, maybe mostly the back office function. I mean, I think that could have been done maybe a bit better. Like in the beginning, at least my team had a really hard time understanding like what exactly it is that we're here to do and like what is expected of us and like what we actually need to do. So that was really hard in the beginning. So yeah, I think that's something that could be improved in the future. But of course, I don't know if this will be implemented in an online setting again. So of course things will be easier when everyone is meeting face to face and you can give direct feedback. So yeah, that's mostly my like feedback on what could be improved. But otherwise, I think the good parts are that you're really like forced to learn something, and it's really beneficial. So yeah, it's a good learning experience.
Okay, let's start with the tips. Well, for next generation, next summer, my number one tip is going to be, especially the ones joining a back office, be open and be brave about your ideas and concepts, what you have in mind. Present them, and you will most likely be able to implement them. I would say that's something valuable. And then feedback. It's a double-edged sword, so to say. The freedom we have. I feel like the back office needs a bit more structuring, and we need more clear directions. Because the length of the course, it's I don't even remember how many weeks it is, but since we had so much freedom and essentially we had to came up with our own work and what we do, our own ideas, the first 2 weeks was pretty much the ideation phase. And yeah, I feel like it would have been way more effective if right from the get-go we would have some sort of, well, we did have some sort of guidelines, but a bit more of them. And I'm pretty sure the course is gonna be held face to face next summer as well, and that's gonna help a lot. But yeah, those are my 2 cents on this.
Yeah, as you can hear, we have a similar things to say about the thing. Not that negative, I would say, but definitely because, like I mentioned earlier, there's always something to kind of improve upon. Like you can always better yourself. Like it doesn't matter what it is. You can get better at cooking. You can get better at running, whatever it is. And courses are always they vary because like the people attending it also kind of make the setting different every time. So that's also to keep in mind. But like overall I would say it's a good course, but just some like keeping in mind that this was the first time that the back office team was actually done like this, it's a really good attempt. But maybe just like the communication and kind of like coaching, especially for the back office teams, needs to be a bit more improved. But yeah, that's basically it for the feedback. But then let's end this podcast on a lighter note. So, hmm, I would actually love to hear what's there for the summer after the challenges. So, what's your favorite Netflix series to binge watch? Let's start off with Nea. What do you think? What's your favorite movie or show to watch? What would you do after this course?
After this course, well then it's in a few weeks. I don't know what I'm going to watch then, but during this course, I've been binge watching House of Cards. That was something really different. I usually don't watch like these political themed shows, but it was super good. So yeah, that was really nice. And now I have changed into something a bit lighter, Working Moms. It's kind of a funny show. So yeah, those are like the two that I've been binging up until now. I'm still doing.
For me, I have to say, the best Netflix has to offer is definitely Suits, unarguably. And another one, the second place award goes to Gotham, I would say.
You guys have a way different taste than I do. My God. But like for me, I actually set up alarm on my Netflix because I don't know if you guys know the series Dynasty, but it made a comeback a while ago, and I was so pumped about it last fall, and I was so sad when like they made 2 seasons of it last fall, and I binge watched them like nonstop. And then they went on a break, and I was so super sad about that. But now, last month, I think, maybe like a week ago or a week and a half ago, they came out with the third season, and I was so pumped, and I still am. That's been my guilty pleasure, like all the way. Like Dynasty is the best thing ever, and yeah, but definitely have to keeping in mind that that's not for everyone's taste. So you do you, sweeties. But anyway, I will do Dynasty or Gotham or whatever. But yeah, so I think that's all for us today. But I would really like to thank my friends Nea and Ville for being here today and just giving out their opinions and sharing their insights and experiences of this course and really helped me. And yeah, so thank you guys. And is there still something you want to add?
I'm gonna thank you, Teemu, as well. I really appreciate the opportunity to try this podcast format. I feel like it's way more difficult than it would be if we would be sitting on the same table in one studio. But I hope this podcast did turn out okay.
Yeah, I've never done a podcast before either, so this was a new experience for me. I was a bit nervous, but yeah, thank you so much for taking me to doing this, and I wish you all a nice summer.
So that was the podcast about international business and internship during the summer, during Corona and Summer Challenges 2020. So without further ado, I would like to thank you all for listening to us today and just leave you guys to it. So have a nice summer and thank you once again. So bye now.